The quantity EXC test will identify over quantity situations by product and sales order numbers. So for that sales order number and product, do we have an invoice that is higher than the actual shipment file, or in this case order file? And what we're trying to understand is, do we have almost like an over approved purchase, or did we buy a customer, or is it something that's a bit of malfeasance where someone is increasing the quantity on purpose? So what we will do is we're going to join the invoice file, which is the input file, the primary file, along to the order file. And by doing that join, we're really only caring about where there are invoices. So I'm doing a primary join as opposed to a primary secondary or just a matched join. I want to see all of the invoices because I'm kind of curious to not lose track of that. However, I don't really care if an invoice is less than the order quantity. So if the order quantity is greater than the invoice quantity, I'm going to calculate a field, but that field will be 0. And if not, the order quantity, invoice quantity minus order quantity will be presented when it is a over quantity situation. Then we're going to calculate that over quantity, multiply that by the invoice price to see how much did we, in essence, overcharge or go over that actual sales order. Now that we're in ACL, I just wanted to take a look at the script itself, and these were the key statements. We're going to open up the invoice file, open up the order file. We're going to join them together on product number and sales order number. I guess one thing to always check is that your product number, sales order number between the two files is the same, length as well as type. And normally these numbers would be set as ASCII fields within ACL. And the field length, again, to check any of this, you would want to go to Edit Table Layout, and not that table. Let's go to the right table here, the invoice file, and we go Edit Table Layout. And as we look at the order number, it's 8 ASCII, and inventory number 7 ASCII. Again, you would want to do the same thing with the order file down below here before running it. I know that these fields are the same length, so not a problem. Let's continue here. We'll select the invoice file, the sales order file, and from the invoice file we're going to select the invoice quantity, the sales order number, the invoice price field, the inventory or product number, and the customer number field. Then from the sales order file, the order quantity, the sales order number, the order unit cost, or let's say unit price field, and then the inventory number is the product number. And we now have a over quantity sum created and an over quantity detail. This is the over quantity sum by customer number, but we also have an over quantity detail to take a look at as well. It's kind of interesting. I mean, again, this is sample data, but out of about 16,000 records in these two files, we do have only about 8 of them that have this over quantity situation where the invoice quantity is greater than the order quantity. We then extend that out using the order price to get kind of this over amount and over quantity over here. It's not too big, but again, with some sample data here. So you would want to research why that is, and also you may want to see trends by summarizing it by customer to understand whether or not the customer itself may have some issues with over quantity situations.